Hey guys, this is Eric Weingarten with Weingarten Racing. If you're watching this, I'm at PRI. So any of the videos after today, I'm not here. So if you're trying to call the shop or something, you're not getting an answer, that's what it is. Although I've changed my phone policy anyway, but regardless, I'm at PRI. And I'll probably tell more about that whenever we get back, the guys and I. But anyway, this one video that I'm doing today is actually new. So all the ones from Christmas, or actually I said from December 1st to Christmas, those are all like a recap of other dyno sessions that were done throughout the years, except for today's. Today's actually took place last Wednesday. So last Wednesday, I was on the dyno. We were testing a good friend of mine, and he used to work in the shop. His name is Jamie, and he had a big block Chevy, a 615 big block Chevy. And what this engine is, it's a very fascinating one, really. It's 615. It's a 4610 bore, so it's probably a little bit actually bigger than 615. I think it's 617 or something like that. 4625 stroke, 14.5 to 1. The heads up top were a set of Brodix 3 extra 380cc full CNC ported heads. Did I do anything with those? One thing. So I didn't do any additional port work besides one thing. I changed the valve job to a 50-degree valve job. They come standard with a 45, which is fine. But the reason why we changed to 50, you might say, well, you did it some reason to make some more power. It maybe, but what I did is I changed to a 50-degree intake valve job and 50-degree exhaust valve job. And the reason why is we reused the valves he had out of his other heads. Because initially when he bought this engine, so I've only known Jamie a couple years, but way back in the past, I'd ported a set of RHS cast iron big block heads, and they were phenomenal. They floated in like 450 range. They're really, really nice stuff. And I'd sold those years ago, and that engine went to Arkansas, and I guess I got to make it 1,100 horsepower with that engine. Jamie bought that engine. I didn't know Jamie. He didn't know me at the time. Anyway, he had done some racing with it or whatnot, and he ordered a new camshaft from Daniel Powell. And what happened was he went out there and maybe like 3 or 4 passes, and it kicked a rod. Unfortunately, it tore up the head, and those heads cannot be replaced. One, because they don't make them anymore, but anyway, they couldn't because they're cast iron. So hence the switch to these Brodix 3 extra 380cc heads. And that's the reason why we reused the valves, just trying to save some money. Not all the valves obviously could be reused. I think there were like 2 that had to be replaced. Anyway, that's it for the heads. The camshafts is still the Daniel Powell. It's like a 830 lift, 289 intake duration, 50 thousandths, 311 on the exhaust, 112 lobe separation, 830 lift. Now, here's what you need to remember too. This is a nitrous cam, because when you look at this engine, as you're hopefully seeing the pictures, you'll notice that there's a fogger in it. So it has a profiler tunnel ram up top. I did not do any porting whatsoever to that, 0. This is not port match. It's exactly as it was out of the box. It just set it on there. And it has the fogger, obviously. Up top is 2 1050 Dominator carburetors from Pro Systems. It didn't even have carb spacers. I really wish we would have done that on the dyno. The compression ratio ended up being like 14.5 to 1. And what did it make for power? Well, it made 1,021 horsepower and 815 foot-pounds of torque. So not too bad. Nitrous motors are kind of different because you bleed off a lot of cylinder pressure, so you can throw more nitrous to it. If you were to do something NA, it would be dramatically different. But regardless, I thought I'd show you that. Here's the dyno run. And that's it. There is your engine. So hopefully you got something out of this. Maybe you'll get something more and learn something with this. But this one truly was, I had very little part to this at all besides just being there for the dyno session. If I was looking back and I'd say I'd do something different, this is one of the weird things. Jamie had a set of Jessel Sportsman rockers for his RHS heads. And if you know anything about the adjustable sportsman rockers, they have this little, it's a piece of metal that connects the rockers that keeps them from rotating on a big block Chevy. And to make that work for this head, he actually just took the pedestals off and bolted them down and welded bars that connect them to make it one piece. So he welded pieces across. Pretty ingenious. By the way, Jamie is a welder by trade. Anyway, it did still put the push rod relatively close to the head. Like it actually almost rubs that head. So the downside, you can't run a bigger push rod. If he'd gotten the correct ones from T&D, which have been like $2,400, he could have run a 7/16. So hindsight, that's probably one of the things that would have changed. But yeah, not bad overall combination. There's a couple things else that would have helped. Dunsworth uses a 2 1/8 inch diameter header tube. Probably shouldn't have had a bigger tube on there, but that's just what he uses. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, I am no Superman. I did race Superboy. I don't port cast iron heads. I do not respond to Facebook or Instagram messages. The best way to get a hold of me is through email, weingartenracing@gmail.com. You guys take care.